My father gets the best sleep ever, which is weird because I'm the lightest sleeper in the world. My dad, no, he's the heaviest sleeper in the world. He is dead when he sleeps. And so my dad lives in Florida, as I may have mentioned before. And Florida has these things called palmetto bugs. And if you don't know what a palmetto bug is, think of a cockroach, but dumber and bigger. So they're like the troll breed of cockroaches. This one time, I'm sleeping. My father lives in an immobile home. It's a mobile home that has the wheels removed. He lives in a trailer park full of immobile homes. Yes. So this one time I'm sleeping in my bed, which is on the other side of the trailer from his, and there's a palmetto bug. Palmetto bugs they're big, and because they're cockroaches, they're resilient. They're really hard to smash. So this cockroach, they're also really, really dumb. So this one cockroach one night, really big guy, came into the room I was in, and he scurries under the dresser, and for hours, I'm talking like for hours, like all night long, he just continually went against the bottom of he just kept spreading his wings, trying to fly straight up and hitting his head on the bottom of the cabinet. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's so annoying. Also, for him to be he was making such a loud slam. Oh, it was so loud. I was terrified. I was like, that thing must be enormous. It must be like as big as my fist. And so I got scared. Would you be scared too if something was smashing up against a table and it wasn't dying, but it was a bug, and you're just like, oh no. So my dad has an intercom because I don't know, he's old and he likes intercoms and what have you. So there's an intercom in my room that connects to his room, and that thing is loud as fuck because my dad's deaf. And so I'm hitting the button on the intercom. I'm trying to call him, and when you hit the call button, like there's a talk button and there's a call button. When you hit the call button, instead of it being like a normal ding or whatever, the call button makes it go "Ah!" on the other side of the house. So it's so loud I can hear it from the other side of the trailer. The trailer's not that wide. I mean, it's okay wide, but like, I can hear it. Nah, nah, nah. Call him on the intercom. Nothing happened. So I sent him a message. I'm like, Dad, 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 Dad. Nothing. I'm like, I'm gonna make my stand here. Leap out of the bed. Run across the trailer. Get to his room. Try and wake him up by talking to him. Obviously, the ant didn't work, so now I'm screaming. I'm like, Dad! Dad! Wake up! Dad! Dad, there's something in my room! Dad! Doesn't budge an inch. So I'm like, I know what'll get him up. And my dad's a big dude. And I walk up to the side of the bed, and I punch him in the boob as hard as humanly possible, just like, wake up! Doesn't even budge. So I resigned to my fate that night, and I slept on the couch. The palmetto bug could have my room.
When someone meets my family, they inevitably ask, how are you? Why is that, you ask? Have I got a story for you?
Now, let me explain what I mean by the earliest of risers. So I'm sorry. I bit my tongue a couple days ago, so I sound a little weird. I'm sorry. I bit my tongue in my sleep too. That's the worst. When you wake up and your tongue's all swollen and you start talking funny and you're like, what's wrong with my face? I don't know what's going on. A couple days ago, I was speaking like Sylvester. It was bad. I was like, suffering succotash. I just spit everywhere. So exactly like Sylvester. My dad has the dumbest concepts of time ever. So he's in Florida, whatever. In his park is a pool. You can go swimming in the pool, but like my dad doesn't like it when other people are swimming in the pool. So you got to go when no one else is there. Not only do you have to go when no one else is there, but you have to go like before the sun rises, because that's the only time it's cool enough for him to be in the pool, which is bullshit because that pool is always like just the right temperature. And I'm much more worried about other things being in the pool than the sun beating down on me. Because there's been multiple occasions where like a snake will go into the pool and be like, what's up, guys? They like pulled it was venomous. I don't know what kind it was, but the old guys there one day. If I haven't clarified before, my father lives in a senior citizen trailer park. It's not just any trailer park; it's only for seniors. So, as you can imagine, when I was forced to go there, it wasn't very fun. There's not a lot for me to do. Not a lot for me to do. But I digress. But yeah, this one time, three of the old dudes, there was a venomous snake in the pool. They went into the kitchen of the clubhouse, which is right next to the pool. They got out a knife. One of them picked up the snake with like the scooper thing that you're supposed to scoop like debris and leaves out of the pool with. Picked up the snake and the scooper thing, threw it on the ground. Another guy came over, stepped on right behind its head, and the third guy came out of the clubhouse with a knife, chopped its head off. And I was like, whoa, there's some badass old dudes in this park. I wasn't there for it. The story was relayed to me. My father relays all the badass old men stories to me. Maybe it's in hopes that I'll one day grow up to be a badass, but I'm not going to be pulling a steak knife out of the kitchen, cutting off a snake's head, old man badass. Sorry, it's not going to happen. That ain't for me. This one time, I thought there was a burglar in the house, and I have a closet full of weapons. Like, I got nunchucks, I got bows and arrows, I got shuriken that I brought home from Japan, what have you. And one time while we were living here, I really did think that there was a burglar in the house. I went in the closet. You want to know what I grabbed? Fucking shield from the Renaissance Fair. I went down the stairs with the shield in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm not Captain America. And it wasn't even the right size shield. Like, it's from the Renaissance Fair. It's like one of those other shields. So, I mean, I wouldn't have been Captain America anyway. I would have been U.S. agent. Back on track. I'm talking about Marvel and my SD shirt that the Banshee got me for my birthday, even though it's not actually my birthday. Not yet, anyway, but it's early because she's visiting the favorite child. Bye! 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 You know she left the dog here. It's okay. Though, her husband got him. So yes. Her husband got the dog. So it's all good. I don't have to watch the dog right now. But anyway, my dad, he wakes up because you have to be at the pool, you know, before the sun rises. That means he wakes up way before the sun rises. And he doesn't just wake up. My dad does stuff when he gets up. One of those is bang spoons. At about 4 a.m. every morning, sometimes a little earlier, he gets up and he takes all the silverware out, gets bowls ready, which is a really stupid idea in his house because there's bugs everywhere, ants everywhere. Oh my god, that's disgusting. He says it's better now, but I don't really believe him. So he gets all the food ready, leaves it on the table, and he gets all the spoons. And I swear to God, he fucking plays drums on the table for no fucking reason at 4 in the morning, every morning. Ding 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 ding. So no one can sleep, and he's deaf, so it doesn't bother him at all. At all, it doesn't bother him. He's legally deaf, but you know he can still hear. Everyone's awake. No one's gonna sleep through that shit, which is weird because most of us would go to sleep, you know, later than the average person would sleep. So he would be waking you up like right after you go to bed, and you're like, "Why do you do this?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear anything." We're like, "Of course you don't hear anything." But what I don't understand is why do you have to get cereal ready? The cereal comes ready in the box. Like, when you want cereal, you grab a box, you go in a bowl, and then you pour your beverage of choice into the bowl. And then you dip your spoon in it and you eat it like there's no cooking required. Why do you have to get cereal ready? And why do you have to get it ready so early in the morning? Not only is my father pretty much deaf and blind, he's also big, as I've mentioned. We have a perpetual running joke in our family that my father is always just on the verge of birthing triplets. He's got a nice big belly. Though I will say, big fat bellies on dudes are really good pillows when you're little. Because I spent many hours asleep on bus rides. We used to take the bus down to Florida. Oh, those were fun times. Like, everyone always tells you, you know, you shouldn't talk to strangers and whatever, but you meet some really interesting fellows when you ride the bus across the country. Very interesting fellows. Very interesting. But yeah, he's super deaf. He has hearing aids, but he doesn't use them. I'm noticing a trend with a lot of older people lately. Like they have hearing aids, but they don't use them. My dad's dad also does this. He has hearing aids, doesn't use them. Though when my dad does use them, he has these really terrible hearing aids. So if anything comes near his ears, they squeal. So he could be like, you can if you ask him if his blah 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 blah. If you ask him if his hearing aids are on, he'll be like, and to normal people watching, they'll be like, what the fuck does that mean? But his hearing aids are bad, so if anything comes too close to them, they squeal. So you'll know if anything is, if his hearing aid is in, because he'll be like, and when his hand gets really close to his head, he'll be like, ee! And then it'll go away as he moves his hand away. So that's the way to tell. But sometimes it doesn't work because he sometimes puts them in his ears to make people think he has his hearing aids on, but he takes the batteries out of them. Because number one, batteries are expensive. They're not really, but he's a cheapskate, as you may have guessed. Runs in my family. He doesn't put the batteries in them, so people think they're on, and they talk to him. And he doesn't understand. He doesn't hear a word they say, but it makes them feel better, as if he was listening, because he really doesn't care one way or the other. Pretty jovial dude, but he don't care. So yeah, he does that. But also, there's, if the banshee's around, when his hearing aids squeal, that upsets her greatly, so she starts screaming. So one of the many reasons why he also doesn't put batteries in them is he puts them in because she'll be like, "Why aren't you hearing aids in?" And then they'll start squealing for some reason, like when he wears a hat or whatever, they'll start squealing, and she'll be like, "I can't stand the noise!" And he'll be like, "Whatever, keep the batteries in. They're in. You're happy. Stop screaming." Well, it's actually a win-win for him because she won't scream at him for them being in, and he's going to have real trouble hearing her because there's no batteries in them. So it's a win-win in his book. He hears things weird sometimes. It's like I know they say that like there's gradations of blindness and there's gradations of deafness. It's like my dad can hear things, he just can't interpret them sometimes. So one of the times I was staying at his house, I was playing Zoids versus 3, and I couldn't win this mission. And I didn't know why, and I was like, "You stupid robot!" Like my dad is always happy. He's always happy, except that one time he ran through customs. But my dad is like always happy, and I was playing Zoids versus 3. I'm sitting in the living room, and he's in the bathroom area, like there's a little hallway, and then the kitchen and the living room. And I'm in the living room with the trailer, and I'm playing Zoids versus 3, and I'm like, "You stupid robot!" And my dad comes stomping in from that hallway to the kitchen and looks over the living room is actually on a lower plane than the kitchen. So he looks down over the bar and he's like, "What did you say to me? Don't tell me to shut up." And I'm like, "What? What? Huh? I didn't even say shut up. Like, what?" And he was pissed. He was so like, "Don't you tell me to shut up." Like, those were the eyes of a murderer that he gave me, and I was like, "I wasn't even talking to you. And how did you hear that? You don't hear me when I scream for you and the palmetto bug's trying to murder me in my sleep." I just got this really weird visual of like a roach with a butcher knife. That would be a really cool boss for a video game. Actually, I think that's a boss in Silent Hill, the Vita game that nobody likes. Except for me, I like that Vita game. It's fun. Actually, I should be playing Zoids versus 3 again soon. I have a couple of requests and to do other stuff, but I gotta fix my memory card because my memory card for GameCube with all my Japanese games. I have 2. I have like 1 and then I had a backup. And the original one, which I haven't backed up in, I can't even tell you how long, crapped out live on stream while we were playing games, which was absolutely wonderful. But I have the data with all the Zoids on it, on the backup memory card, so should be doing that soon. It's such a nice day. Like, this was the first morning I woke up, and it wasn't, like, I woke up cold. And that's so nice. I haven't woken up cold in months. I usually wake up sweating, and I'm like, "Oh!" and I gotta roll out of the bed, and you're all sticky, so you can't really get up. So you have to roll and hope that your sweat hasn't glued you to the bed. Ugh, hate that. And I don't know if any of you guys know this, but like one of the problems with being almost blind is that you have no depth perception. Well, like my dad is blind in one eye, I believe, or his vision is exceptionally poor in that one eye, so he's basically blind. And because he has like one decent eye and one bad eye, he has no depth perception at all. None. He's got no depth perception. And this thing happens where he'll be like, hey, can you hand me that? And if it's something big and fat, like it has form, this is open, you can't see that it has form. Like if it's fat, he can grab it. But if you were to hand him a paper, like just a paper, this thing happens where, and when Liz was finally going to meet my dad for the first time, I was like, if he asks you to hand him anything, don't do it. Do not hand him anything. And she's like, I don't get it. I'm like, let me explain something to you. You try to hand the man a paper. He has no depth perception. He can't get it. So you try to hand him the paper, and he's like, and he thinks that you're playing a game with him. That you're doing, that you're like, so he can't grab it. But in reality, you haven't moved your hand at all, and this makes him angry. He thinks you're playing this game with him, even though you're just holding the paper out right there. And he's like, stop playing! Give it to me! And we're like, I'm trying to give it to you. You won't take it. And that just makes him angry. So, explained it to her. And then me and my sister bawled our eyes out laughing because he was asking for papers. And Liz was like, what do I do? She wanted to hand him a menu or something. And we were having a ball. We were like, what? Should I hand him something? And we're like, no, we got this. It's fine. We'll do it. And it actually happened that day. We were trying to hand him papers or whatever. Well, my dad likes to give people, as presents, my father gives people newspaper clippings that he thinks they'll enjoy. Those are presents from my father. So he was probably handing them to us, and we wanted to hand something back. He wanted to show us what we were supposed to be looking for on this particular sheet. So we gave him the papers. And we just laughed because that's what actually happened. You're like, stop, give it to me. Like, we're trying to give it to you. You just slide stuff across the table towards him. Which also should be difficult, you think. But I guess he can tell where it is if he puts his hand on it.
Hey there, guys and gals. Thanks so much for watching, as always. If you click the link on the left, you'll be taken to the previous episode. If you click the link on the right, you'll be taken to the playlist where you can watch them all. The end of Season 1 for Unfairy Tales is really quickly approaching, but I intend to end this the same way I started it, with my mom.